Good morning, it's MJ, the creator of the Crow Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Sunday morning, it is June 30th, and this is a general reading for the collective. And thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you in Europe, my God, I feel like you're going through what we in Seattle went through a couple weeks ago. I mean, like with the sidewalks melting or the streets melting. I saw a photo somebody posted from Germany that it was a bicycle that melted, an entire, like a bicycle, the metal. I mean, like, that's nuts. Oh my God. But, you know, of course, this is all normal, right? Jeez, oh Pete. It's going to be hot here in Seattle today, too. And this article, I was reading about it, made note that in Europe, a lot of places don't have, a lot of homes aren't built with AC, and that's how it is here in Seattle as well. We're not equipped with AC, so even if it gets into like in the 90s and the rest of the country is like, oh, come on, it's like normal here. For us, we're not used to it on top of it, and then our houses aren't built for 90-degree heat, so let's see here. Let's start off with the foundation card. And this is that energy that brought you to the party. It brought you to the dance, which is your current moment. Forgive me, I'm a bit congested this morning. Okay. Our first card we have is the Nine of Wands. So perhaps this was a time when you worked your little heart out, recognized that that you needed to take a wee break, not a long break, but just enough of a break to just rest. Rest your mind, rest your body. What you were working on was very physical. Here we have the Nine of Swords, which is interesting here. Perhaps there was some issue where you didn't really stop because you were worried, and now things are happening here as a result. But let's just unpack. Let's just see what's going on here. The advice the crows bring. Hierophant. Okay, so here we have this foundation, and now that I see it all come together, the foundation, it makes sense, right? Where we have this anxiety. Your work, this would have been a time where, it probably still is. I mean, although this is the foundation, it doesn't necessarily mean like the distant past. This could have been yesterday, for example. Where you are today is the result of you working your heart out and trying to get this last task completed. And it's something that you're just very, it's like you're passionate about it and you just want it to be done. And everything else may have been so easy, right? Everything leading up to that moment here with that final one may have been so easy that now that you have this final task to complete, it's like, why on earth is it being such a bugger? You're like, what? And especially if this is a task where when this is completed, then everything sort of comes together, where you're like, it's like you can finally relax. It's hard to take breaks, during a project. I know that, like you just want to start it and you want to finish it. And it's really hard to kind of set something aside and be like, all right, well, I'm going to, redirect my attention elsewhere so I can kind of let my energy, just sort of rest a bit. So when I return to this major project that I'm working on, I'm refreshed. You had a great deal of strength and you still do have a great deal of strength. The issue when you're in this moment of feeling overwhelmed, or when you just feel like you just have to get something done. And maybe because of that, um, it starts to lose a bit of that shine, you know what I mean? Where it becomes kind of like resentment a little bit, sort of seeps in a bit. Um, that's where the clouds begin to come in and block out your sun. That's where kind of the clouds come in to block out your energy. And so this would have been a time of you, you know, just wanting to complete something, knowing that once you did get it done, everything would fall into place. But because this last task is taking on, a role that is just, it's so much harder and so much just more exhausting, because you've worked so hard, because you haven't allowed yourself time to rest. This last task is probably being a bit more challenging. And because of that, because there's so much weighing on this last wand getting up here, so to speak, this last, whatever it is, like whatever task it is that you have to complete before you can call the whole project done, whatever that is, it's causing a great deal of anxiety. And so there may be an issue here where you're just, and looking at the Hierophant as the advice, it's like you may need to go back and learn something, or you may need to allow somebody to show you the way. You may not be able to do all of this yourself. Whatever it is that this project, or whatever this situation that you have going on here, it's not being resolved. They're looking at this anxiety here at the center. This job wasn't completed. This project, this big plan of yours, it's still in the works. And if we were sitting here looking at like the Ten of Pentacles, I'd be like, wow, great job, and now look what you've accomplished, right? But you haven't. And so this is the issue I see here, is that you've worked so hard getting to this moment in time, and the last thing you want to do is jeopardize all that effort, all that commitment that you put in. It's like you can't have this become for naught, right? You can't have all that work that you committed to, just fall apart because you're rushing, or you're just like, I just want to get it done and put my hands up in the air and be over it. But there's something here that's causing you stress. And it could be that you need to go back and learn something. It may be that it's time for you to hand over a little bit of the control to, or at least allow somebody who has knowledge help you. I am going through this right now. I was contacted by a backer who is just so kind, and she approached me in a very gentle way, because not everybody takes criticism the same way, and she wanted to help me with the guidebook, because there were a few errors. I know that going in, and so this is where you have this opportunity as well to connect with somebody who wants to help you. They don't want to see you in a place of anxiety. They want to see you put this final task to rest, so that you can rest. And so this may be an opportunity for you to check in with somebody who has the knowledge, who has a really good understanding for what it will take here. This may be a time where you need to put your ego aside and let somebody else help you. That's one thing I can tell you I've learned over the years, is that if you really want to accomplish something, if you really want whatever project that you're working on to be the best, if somebody comes to you with an idea, never discount it. If somebody wants to come along and help you, and your areas of weakness, and we all have them, right? I mean, nobody's freaking perfect, but if you know that somebody genuinely wants to help you, don't push them away, because they're only going to make this last task of yours a whole lot easier. I mean, this is where you have to put your ego aside and be like, you know what? I'm okay with accepting help, or or expanding my knowledge and receiving that information from somebody who knows a little bit more than I do. Or probably in my case, a lot more than I do. I mean, like, that's okay. Because at the end, it's all about finishing the project. And how you get there, it doesn't take away from all of the hard work that you've put in if you allow for help. If you allow for more information to come in and allow somebody to teach you a little bit. That's not going to diminish your hard work or take away all of your effort. It's not going to make you look weak or not as committed, or it's not going to take away your role. What it is going to take away is this anxiety that you have going on here at the center. And so this anxiety is something that if you let this overcome you, that final task is never going to get done. I'm telling you. That anxiety will kill your dreams here, unless you use that anxiety to push you to finding somebody who will help you. So if you just want to allow life to spiral, because that's what will happen if you're in this space, it'll become too overwhelming. So with anxiety, anxiety does have an important role sometimes. Anxiety can also be the thing that emotion that sparks you to find a resource. It's the emotion that has you looking for other solutions. It can be that. It can also be the emotion that keeps you in a place of fear and with your hands tied and believing that there's nothing that you can do. So it's like, which anxiety do you want? Do you want the anxiety that prevents you from finishing whatever this is? Or do you want the anxiety that spurs you into action, where you find somebody who can help you, where you look for any possible solution out of this problem, which is figuring out how to pull all of this together? So, well, this is like a heavy reading for a Sunday, and it's such a beautiful sunny Sunday. Oh my God. It's like, I was kind of hoping come on, give me some Three of Cups here, maybe a sun. But no, this is what the crows bring back. And it really is about you finishing a task and getting this job done and getting out of a space where you're feeling anxious about it. This may be a project that's keeping you up at night. It may be a situation that you just can't let go of it, to enough, long enough so that you can rest. Because that's what this card is all about here. It's all about giving you space to rest your brain and your, in your body. If you're working on something that's physical, this is about you not taking a step backwards, out of exhaustion, but gaining perspective and letting new ideas come in. And that only comes from resting. And if you're in a state of anxiety, if you're worried about how this project is going to play out, you're not probably sleeping the best, and you're probably worried to the point where it's consuming you. And there is help out there. So the message that the crows bring back is find help, find somebody, or go online if it's if it's watching YouTube videos to, for figuring out how to solve a problem. If it's whatever this project is, there are resources out there in the world that can help you. There are people out there who've probably already walked down this path. that you've walked down that can, you know, extend a hand backwards and help pull you forward. They're there. I know they are. I've met these people and they're wonderful. And so they're there for you. You just have to tap into it, and you have to perhaps let your ego take a little back seat for a while so that you can finish this job, because it's something that you've worked too hard on to let it fall into this realm of darkness, you know? So I hope this reading makes sense. And I am personally taking this one, and you know, to that person who offered to help me, I am so grateful for you. You have no idea. And because I know in the end, this person's going to help me create something that's even better. It's going to help me like move into this position. And that's what's going to happen for you. Once you get this done, like once you get whatever this project is done, and you've worked with your personal Hierophant, right? Whoever this is in your life, wherever this information comes to, wherever you gain this knowledge, you're going to then be able to be that person who passes the torch. You're going to be that person who will light the way for others so they don't have this space of darkness. So anyway, much, much, much love to you, and bye for now. Peace.